so excited to have you. Okay, please introduce yourself and in one sentence, what do you do?
Okay. Hi, my name is Honora. I am the founder of Ultra Sweet. I'm also a stylist, content creator, do a little bit of everything.
And tell us what Ultra Sweet represents at its core.
What it represents at its core is women feeling empowered through clothing.
I love that.
Yeah.
And what inspired you to start this kind of work? What inspired you to take on this venture?
During my time in Toronto, I was there for school for 2 years, right as COVID hit. I remember spending a lot of time at home. Things were expensive, things were shutting down, like a mix of everything. And that kind of just got me to be really creative in my room. And I started like cutting things up and designing things. Vintage scene in Toronto was booming at that time.
Insane.
And I remember seeing like vintage stores curated specifically for women, which I didn't really see in Edmonton happening at that time. So yeah, that's like how these ideas started.
No, your fashion is incredible. I love the way that you put things together.
Thank you.
What lights you up most about what you do?
Ooh, that's a great question. The main thing that really makes me want to continue doing what I do is seeing people's reactions, whether it's when they are like, for example, when they're wearing our pieces, or when I style somebody and all the thinking, the planning, the person's excited to be wearing it. And I think with clothing, it has so much to do with our like confidence and how we feel. And so seeing people channel these emotions when wearing these pieces is really, really cool.
By the way, I am wearing Ultra Sweet sweatpants right now as we speak. I live in these and I love them. They're so comfortable, I have to say.
Thank you. And yeah, that's exactly what I love. I love hearing things like that.
Who do you love helping the most?
Ooh.
Or who do you love styling the most?
Okay. I think my favorite way of styling people is through the internet. Some people are unfamiliar with this, but I have been putting together style bundles. So I've been thrifting for quite a while now. It got so popular through TikTok that people started messaging me to essentially style them with the pieces that I would thrift. And these people are strangers. There's a lot of questioning that goes into it, like what's their body type, what did they want to look like, what's their current style, and just putting all of these things together for a person I don't know is probably the coolest thing I've ever done. And then them being excited when they receive the items is just...
What's the energy shift you notice often after others experience your work?
I think people realize how much power clothes have. I think we underestimate that. And I'm one of those people, you know, I have those off days where I just don't feel like dressing up, but I notice the change when I do put in that little bit of effort, and then I head out and I just feel like I can conquer the world. People start to realize that after having these experiences.
Who inspires you fashion-wise?
Top for me is Rihanna.
I literally was gonna say, because I feel the energy.
That's such a big compliment. I feel like she's able to make it look so effortless, and it looks so good. Like, I know that woman just goes into her closet and just picks things out based on, you know, what she feels, and it looks incredible.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a talent.
What do you hope people leave with after experiencing styling with you?
The biggest thing for me, and that I tell people, is shopping for your body type. I think nowadays, when there's so many trends, people want to pick up on it, rightfully so. But I think at the end of the day, you should be shopping for yourself, for what looks good on you. And I really do hope that people take that away, because I do try to style them in what I think would look great on their body type.
Right.
And still try to pick up on certain trends. But yeah.
Styling for yourself.
Yeah.
What does community mean to you?
I feel like the word community does get used quite a bit, and there's a lot of different interpretations for what it means. You don't even necessarily need to be into the same things, but people that are just kind of uplifting each other in whatever it is that they're doing. And yeah, it's very simple. And whenever I travel, funny enough, I always love seeing how strong communities are outside of like North America. I feel like people are so connected, and I do love the internet for that, because I feel like the internet allows us to create these communities. There's still a lot more to be done here, at least, but I hope that answers the question.
You've traveled and immersed yourself in different cultures. What's something you've learned globally that completely shifted how you style?
Okay. I do think traveling is a big part of your like how you put things together, and I think because it opens you up to so many different styles. Like North America has its own trends, and then you go to Europe and you see that they do things completely different, and then you'll go to Asia and you're like, wow, right? Like it's just, it opens you up to so many different ways of doing things that when you come back, you just want to experiment. And I think experimentation is kind of what you take away from traveling. You're
Right.
like, I don't have to always only dress this way. Like I can mix and match.
How do you define taste in a world where trends move so fast?
Ooh, okay, that's a great question. At the end of the day, it's about what makes you comfortable. And I think, like you said, there are so many trends all the time, but you kind of default to a certain style, always honing into that,
Right.
mixing it up a little bit. I think you can cultivate your personal style based on that.
Your work feels very intentional and distinct. What part of you shows up the most in the pieces you create?
Even in my day-to-day, I dress quite minimalistic, I want to say. And whenever I design pieces or style others, my other personalities can tend to
The
come out.
alter ego.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. What's something about fashion that people think they understand but actually don't?
Don't hate me for this, you guys. But I think a lot of people, again, going back to trends, just kind of follow what they see online. And I don't blame them. And I do it myself sometimes too. But I think what works for others may not work for you.
Right.
And there's just something like to keep in mind. But you can also take these trends and suit it to yourself and kind of, make it work.
When you're creating or styling, are you thinking more about the person, the energy, or the story?
I think a little bit of everything because you're styling them based on what they're comfortable with.
Right.
But then there's this image that they want to also portray. So you're taking what they have, adding on,
Right.
and then you're creating this like story overall.
What inspires you lately, not just aesthetically, but emotionally or spiritually?
Easy. Traveling.
I love that.
Traveling is something that has always inspired me. I've been traveling since I was like 14. And every single time that I get to get away, I come back a different person. Everything shapes you, seeing different cultures, different people. When you travel, you realize people do things differently to the way they talk, to the way they eat, right? It takes you out of your own bubble. It just opens up your world. Yeah.
It's a step closer to freedom.
Yes, exactly.
What does it take to build something that feels truly original in today's fashion space?
It takes a lot of failure. I've done so many things where it hasn't worked out, but at the bottom of it all and who I was at the moment, and even though it may have not made me a ton of money or been successful even just in terms of like growing my audience, but I could say I was true to myself, and I'm happy that I can say that.
If someone wears Ultra Sweet, what do you want them to feel before anyone even says a single word?
As simple as it is, I just want them to feel good. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel like they can do anything, even though it's a tracksuit. I want you to feel sexy. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel pretty. Like, I want you to feel all the good emotions.
And where can the people find you?
Mainly online. Through my Instagram, my TikTok. I post a lot on my personal. I should make a close friends because I feel like I just spam my stories, but everything I do post online. So my styling, my style bundles, my like design process and how I run Ultra Sweet, I tend to create a lot of content. So, and YouTube, forgot to mention that.
The link will be somewhere. I love it. And what does aura mean to you?
I think aura to me is someone's energy, how they interact with others and their inner world, also how they are with themselves. I think that all shows up in when you speak to a person, and you certain people, I want to say, can pick up on those energies. I want to say I'm one of them, but who knows, you know?
Well, thank you so much. We are so happy to have you.
It's been a pleasure. I loved answering all these questions. And so you get asked a question, sometimes you just don't think about it. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.